A new bill to ban TikTok in the United States is being introduced by Colorado's Republican Congressman Ken Buck.
To break this down is 9 News legal analyst Whitney Traylor. Thank you so much for coming in.
Sure thing.
TikTok has been top of mind a lot lately, talking about how much information they take. I know that universities have banned it. They're talking about it for elementary schools. Even some government officials aren't allowed to have it on their phones. Talk about what's in this ban.
Sure. So what's being proposed is a complete ban of TikTok on all American phones. And what they're suggesting is that the president, with certain statutory authority, would ban essentially all transactions with TikTok's parent company, which is, I believe, ByteDance. And so, and that they would get a report from the FBI and others about what has happened, what information that they've had. So it would be a total ban. And as you mentioned, some government officials, so there was a partial ban imposed last year. So the federal government can't have TikTok on theirs. And there's about 28 state legislatures that have also imposed that ban on the government officials. So nothing, state, countrywide. And they're essentially saying that the problem is that China's taking the information and using it in ways that could, in fact, impact national security.
Yeah, so not only is this a hot topic, it's a pretty heated topic as well. What are the chances that something like this actually passes? And if it does, the fact that it faces legal battles?
Yeah, I think it will. And it's going to be interesting because we have this new divided Senate, Congress. How are they going to work together? We don't know. So this is, what I noticed is that it's the Republicans that are loudest about this issue. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know why it's a partisan issue. I think it's across the board that folks have fears about China and national security and things of that nature, but it is the Republicans pushing it. So will it pass? It depends. We don't know how this new Congress is going to work, but it does seem to have here's the other thing. President Trump had an executive order to push for a ban on TikTok. And that's when, in 2020, there were all these conversations about TikTok being bought out by an American company. Well, they filed a lawsuit, and that was halted. They said, no, you can't do this kind of ban. President Biden has reversed that executive order. And so now people are saying, well, maybe President Trump was right.
It's so interesting because I do think that there is a component here about national security, right, which is why Ken Buck is pushing it. But there's also just this concern about how much data China is taking. And I know that probably as a lawyer, you advise people to read that very fine print that says that you're giving away your rights to everything. But in this case, what they can potentially take, you're signing away for. I mean, you should probably read it and look it over.
Well, you really should. But the cybersecurity experts will say it doesn't matter. The information is out there. And there's a lot of people actually criticizing this and saying, no, this is a peaceful approach. And really what you need to do is look at it more comprehensive. And they're saying that this isn't really going to do anything because all of the apps, Google and everything else, take our data. And they said there's a lot of unscrupulous data pirators that are selling the information. So some people are saying this really isn't doing anything. And they actually say President Trump initiated this because of the June 20 campaign when they through TikTok were able to buy all these seats up, so his campaign rally only had a few people there, even though it looked like it sold out. And so it was embarrassing. Some people say it's retribution for that.
Just very briefly, because I think because there are so many different things being said about this right now, a lot of people are going to want to do their own research. With your legal expertise, where do you recommend they go? Is it just they check out the contract for TikTok itself?
Well, definitely, but that's going to be so much legalese. It may be complex. So I would say Google. There's so many people already doing the analysis, and there's cybersecurity experts that are saying what to do if you're concerned with your data. And of course, the ultimate is, look, if you don't want something out there, don't put it out there. But it doesn't matter because it's our shopping trends and all these other things that they're creating the algorithms with. So read what the cybersecurity experts are saying. There's a lot of data on there on practical steps you can take to protect yourself.
Very interesting. We'll see what happens with this ban.
Yeah, we'll be talking about it more.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
All right.